Ooh, it says you are live in the middle of the screen now.
It does.
I
That's
didn't.
cool.
I don't get that.
I didn't. What the hell? Have you guys got that?
I
Said
haven't.
it.
It helps.
I did.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. It's live. That took a while on my end. I was worrying. Hello, and welcome back to another... Yep, that's right. It's Thursday, and you're joined by Andrew/Frank.
Good evening.
No Painless 360, so it won't be a good show. If you want a good show, I highly recommend Drone is Life. They're killing it. Are they? Did anyone watch the Final Glide one? Was it any good? Oh, damn it! I need to watch that. Curry Kitten, everyone's favourite.
Hello.
Our guest tonight, Winter Blue.
Hey guys.
I loosely use the word. I think he's a fan of the show. I think he tolerates it and he remembers who we are. Whether that's for security reasons, who knows? But thanks for listening. And my little unhappy Tony.
Bonjour.
Don't worry, buddy. We're gonna record the bonus pod, do some housekeeping. Hopefully, you will be less angry at all of us.
Good, good. I'm only angry at one person.
What, me?
Wait, yeah. Someone's got to be you, isn't it? Well, we haven't had a fight on air for ages and stuff, so
there's no need. I haven't seen you to be annoyed by you.
Yeah, maybe I should do a drive-by soon or something.
No worries. I'm sure I'll catch up with you sooner or later.
Well, still got your badge thing here. Actually, I've cleared it away. Where have I put it? I think you'll have to come around and get it one day.
Yeah, no worries. I will come to visit you. Andrew/Frank.
You've introduced me already.
What would you like to talk about?
Me?
Yeah.
Don't know.
You put him on the spot. Look, he's all gone shy.
Regulations. Have you put a number on your stuff?
I haven't yet, but it's been crap weather and I haven't got anything worth flying at the moment or anywhere worth going to fly it, so I haven't bothered.
Over the week, I've had some updates on your little wing that's hiding in the corner there. Let's solo you.
It's
how's this going?
Yeah.
So
surprisingly well.
He threw it back on. Why did you throw it back?
It doesn't fly yet. It doesn't
well, no,
yet.
I think isn't it? It doesn't stop flying is the issue.
That was an issue. So I couldn't get it to arm, and I managed to get it arm, and then I couldn't get it to disarm. And yeah, because what it is, I'm using ArduPilot, the quad plane version of ArduPilot, in the tail sitter configuration. And so quad plane is like, make sure you read all of this before you consider doing anything about quad plane. And then there's the tail sitter configuration where it's like, make sure you know a lot about the quad plane before you go to the tail sitter. And I've just kind of, gone, I've read it ish. And it turns out that maybe that's not the best way to do it. But, you know.
Oh, if they were exciting legislations, you would have been sucking them in all night.
Well, I've read them all. It's just a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because
it's just normal, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Does it say like they had a highly experimental, use at own risk and stuff like that? It's like this is all theoretical. No one's been stupid enough to try it yet.
A lot of it is saying things like, make sure you don't do any of these modes because they are bad. And then this other bit is like, only use these modes. And those are the same lists, which confuses me slightly. But it turns out, you know, I figured how different could it be from a Klingflight Betaflight type multi-Wii knockoff. And I know it's a different branch, but I'm like, how many different ways are there to have settings for flight controls and controllers? And it turns out
it's a lot of different ways. In Ardu plane, it's horrendous.
Yeah, but it's just like a completely different way of thinking about everything. It's like, I mean, to pull it back to something that I can kind of relate to, it's like the first time I ever encountered database software, having used spreadsheet software. And it's like, oh yeah, it uses like columns and rows and things, so I understand how this works. And then you try and do stuff with it. It's like, oh no, this doesn't work how I expect it to work. It's completely different. And it's kind of the same where like, oh yeah, it uses motors and ESCs, so how hard can it be? And it's like, no. You don't understand this at all. Okay.
I feel like that with INAV most of the time.
Yeah, so I've rewatched a number of Painless's videos multiple times. I've reread all the documentation multiple times, and I'm still quite lost. But I've managed to get it to arm and to disarm. Failsafe eludes me because it being ArduPilot, it seems to kind of assume that GPS is always going to be fine, so you're always going to want to failsafe to GPS. But when I'm trying to do stuff in my room, that's not what I want it to do, but that doesn't seem to be an option. So that's entertaining.
I tend to think you should have tried it your first time just with mixes on the transmitter.
Oh,
because essentially you're just doing like...
I did.
Did that fly?
No, but that was because I had a motor issue. But then it rained, so I didn't bother going the 2.5 hours to the nearest field.
Rained? It hasn't. Is it? Oh, only
not
2
in July,
weeks.
Not in summer.
Then I decided to spend the weekend fitting this board instead of trudging out to a rain-sodden field for a 5-hour round trip for potentially.
So you kind of just done what you could rather than what you should.
So I've got I can still put it into the mix mode.
Let's get it working in a basic configuration. It rained that week, so you jumped over that and went to a more complicated configuration to go straight to that.
I still have a configuration. I mean, I can unplug things and plug the other old one back in, and I can also put it into the mode of just manual mode, and that's works as I generally expect it to so far. It's just the fail-safe bit is scary. I need to remember to make sure that's working before I try and fly it, because otherwise I know I'm going to just fly it outside of range and it's just going to GPS.
One of my friends, he was keen on ArduPilot, and he was flying one of his planes, and he had this is back when we were using the 9X original transmitters, and he had like a battery problem, and he's like, I'm just going to swap the battery. What I'll do, I'll put it in circle mode, got the batteries out, started changing the batteries, and then, oh no, these batteries aren't good. So meantime, it fail-safed, but its fail-safe decided it was going to be in stabilized mode, and it just flew off for 7 kilometers. And when he got it back, he had the most amazing footage when on its HD camera, those high tensile, very high power cables, it managed to go in between them cleanly. And you could just hear this incredible buzz from the electricity as it went through. But it landed completely safely, and he got it back somehow.
Well, did you see the report that was out? Well, not report, but there's like a safety notice that was released by the CAA today about someone who flew their Matrice, and it lost GPS essentially, and went into a manual or stabilized kind of mode, and the pilot didn't understand that was what was happening, or was too nervous about flying it manually, and so just kept hitting return to home. And it just sort of disappeared into the distance and crashed into a residential area down the road. And then his next response was to try and fly another one that was exactly the same, and that had a similar problem. So the CAA have released a report saying, "Don't do that. That's probably bad." So yeah,
people who fly that kind of thing really need to know how to fly a drone in like a manual mode. It should be compulsory, You can't fly this until you can fly a tiny whoop backwards, line of sight, through a window.
Well, I'm out then.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That sucks. How you been, Winterblue? You've been interviewing loads of people. I haven't caught up. I heard rumours that you interviewed Painless and everything.
Yeah, I had Painless on a few weeks ago. It's good fun. It's something to do on a Saturday night, really. It's good fun.
Yeah. You were up by Andy the other day, by the looks of things.
Is he up Derby way? I don't know. I don't actually know where he is. So, but yeah, I was up in
We
Derby.
can't
It's up
really
north, and
feel
it looked
his.
like one of those cooling towers.
It might have been near one of those cooling towers. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I broke my GoPro, which I wasn't so impressed with though.
Oh. GoPro Hero 5 session or
GoPro 7 Black.
oh.
Fell from a great height onto rocks and was destroyed.
So there's rocks at the bottom of them, isn't there?
There are.
And
Did you try
water.
phoning up GoPro and saying as long as you don't say I crashed a quad, then they seem perfectly happy to fix it.
It's already gone off to GoPro. They're sending me a replacement. That's fine. I just have to wait for it. It was annoying because it's like the first pack of the day as well.
Oh, it's normally the last one, isn't it? Normally the last one, but that is annoying. No matter what, it's annoying. But oh man,
Thanks, Matt.
Max watched it.
And just for the reference for clown, stop it.
What?
It's an in-joke.
Unsub Winter Blue. Right, everyone unsub Winter Blue FBB.
Oh my god.
Just for clown FBB. Right, we're going to do that in a minute. And then resub tomorrow, just so you get scared.
Don't do it. Ignore clown.
Every time I upload a video, I lose subs, so it's better off just not doing anything, I tell you.
I enjoyed your last video. I enjoyed you going, oh my goodness, this HD is amazing.
Look at the blades of grass I keep getting taken the piss out of now. So what was happening last night, Jack? I see there's.
How do you know about that? You don't watch that, do you?
I
think someone posted a picture in the chat.
Sometimes do, but I got a picture put in the chat, and I was like, that looks like me and maybe one of my dogs.
It was a good representation if you recognised it or what it was.
Well, no, I didn't. I was like, what the hell was that? And Frank told me, but
it's up on my fridge at work, so you know.
I think it's been posted in the Facebook.
Did you put it up on your fridge at work?
Yeah, I posted a photo of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did show my one to Sophie, and her first words, because she says, "What's that bit at the bottom?" I said, "It says Sophie's great," and she said, "Is he dyslexic?" And I said, "Yeah, that's the least of his problems."
Oh dear!
Oh my god! Really? How you must be super dyslexic to spell it like that? Oh my word! Oh look, you actually did post it on your fridge. Oh my god, Jack aged 8.
We should do, Jack. You should just do an LDO calendar of all of us.
Yeah, man.
And we should
do if you want.
I think we should do a calendar. Like that can be 1 month, you know, and then do another one of Frank doing something, or you know, I think people might buy that. Your art is spectacular.
Oh man.
Is there any way of showing it live on here or not?
No, I don't think it's YouTube friendly. We already get demonetized enough as it is.
Did anybody show NJ the NJ one?
The NJ tentacle? No, I don't know. I haven't seen or heard much from old NJ, but I've heard from like Clint and that he bought the whole DJI, digital goggles and that, and he's picked up a parrot apparently. So it'd be nice to catch up with one of the original hosts of the show at some point.
There's some people in the chat who just said they've bought it as well. I can't see where it was. It was back up in the chat. Someone's bought it from.
A lot of people asking about the 50 megabits per second upgrade.
Look.
I've updated. I haven't tried it yet.
I've updated. I've tried it. It's on my YouTube channel if you go and watch. But I can talk about it as well.
Don't forget, after you watch it, to unsubscribe to Tony, because that's the done thing.
No, keep subscribing because I need to beat Jack to 1,000. I'm in the lead at the moment, but every time I upload, I glue something. lose 2 or 3 subs. But
Oh, Curry, we need to arrange a date and a time to do.
Do you remember how you said you were going to call me on Friday and then didn't?
well, that's Jack all over. Like I've literally.
When do you want? Do you want me to call you on Friday? This
I didn't
Friday?
say that. Just organise a time and stick to it. I'm not going to chase you for it.
Call Curry Kitten on the Friday. No, not now.
Now?
Oh, I'm speaking to him. I've been playing around with 80 tinies and unsuccessfully getting them to work. Yeah.
What for?
80 what's?
80 tiny 45s, I assume.
The 85. That one.
85. Ooh.
Yeah, but I have got some different.
We don't know what you're talking about.
No, tell us.
Frank, do you want to explain to him?
It's a microcontroller that's kind of a bit dumber than an Arduino. In the kind of, you got your Raspberry Pis that are pretty powerful. You've got your Arduinos that are a bit more base level, and then you've got your 80 tinies that are kind of even more hardware. Very much more electronic than computer.
What
Trying
are you
to
doing?
make LEDs flash. Woohoo! Exciting. That's the whole.
Is that what you've been doing in your dungeon for the last week?
Yeah,
that and trips to the lab.
Oh, mate, it's not stopped, and I've been playing around with lasers as well. Hang on.
Oh yeah, your Tony tattooer. How's that going?
Yeah.
Are you going to tattoo my arm or not?
Well,
With a
no,
laser beam?
look. Actual laser pickups. Unfortunately, you see that little black mark? That's a little bit too much power. Well, yeah, I was trying to figure out a way of getting, to actually laser you to death.
Well, on to die. I wouldn't mind getting something burnt into my arm for fun.
It's not
Like
going to work
LDO
unless I
or something.
super glue you to the bottom plate of that thing.
Why don't you just
Mini-Me?
attach the machine to Tony, and then if he starts screaming and running around, it will carry on?
I reckon I could take it. I've had a tattoo before. It's only laser burn. It won't. Will it hurt? I bet I could stay there. We could have bets. We could do a live thing and place your bets. See if Tony moves his arm out or not. I
Keep
reckon
playing with that, and you're going to go blind. Well, they said that about my other thing, but no, I'm joking. I'm sorry, Joe's. You are very correct. I will be as careful as I can be, and try not to laser my face off.
Have you actually etched anything with it yet?
No, of course not.
I don't want that written on my arm. I mean, I like it, and 50 megabytes a second now is awesome. The only problem with 60 megabytes a second now, you get such a better picture, but you lose channels. You only get 2 channels. You get 2 channels and a public channel to watch. So if you're both on 50 megabits and there's 2 of you, you're all right. If there's 3 of you, you're not all right.
Now, Winterblue, you use this stuff for like a year, right?
Yep, I've been flying DJI for over a year.
What is a public channel? What does public channel mean?
Good question.
The BBC.
Yeah, so you pay your taxman money to the government every month, and they allow you to watch TV.
Just paid mine.
So you get like a public channel license. No, public channel. So when you power on your goggles and your Air Unit or Vista or whatever it is, it will jump straight to the public channel until it works out where it's supposed to be.
So is this race 6 ish?
No. R6. The public channel is DJI channel 8, which is almost race 6. So it powers on effectively on race 6. So if you're flying with analog pilots, make sure beware. Mm-hmm. And then the only DJI channel that actually matches a known race band is Race 2. That's the only one which has exactly the same frequency.
So otherwise, it's what 5 or 10 megahertz off of it or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because that's all I've.
Nice
You know,
switch.
Obviously, with like mini air show and stuff, I've been keeping a close eye on any mentions of DJI stuff playing along with analog stuff in any of the racing or anything like that. And of course, the racing is back next weekend. Laxton, I think, is the first of the BDRA races. So the racing championships are back on as of next weekend. The general consensus seems to be don't mix and match analog and DJI for racing at the moment.
No, someone asked me if I'm going to put another unit in my X class, and I'm like, no, because I've been invited to California again. Well, I've been invited to another X class event, which is going to be in California next year, next November. Not, I don't think they're doing anything this year, and I'm pretty sure you know if you've got more than a couple of you, it's not going to be good having analog and the HD at the same time. So probably not going to put it in my X class, but I think I'm going to get a new one and put it in my little filming drone, you know, my little
Cinewhoop thing.
Cinewhoop, yeah.
Master.
Yeah. Put it in there, especially for flying indoors.
Makerspace meta.
Yes, because I want to test it indoors as well, because apparently it's really good indoors.
It is. So you know that thing called multipathing?
What's that on HD? I've never seen it on HD. Does it just literally just go?
It's gone. You'll never see it again.
Wow.
So the Killer Quads guys in the Midlands, they do an event in the winter called the Winter Whoops, and I flew a Cinewhoop there, and it's a really high multipath environment. It's like an indoor gym thing, and yeah, you get massive amounts of interference. And I was flying my Cinewhoop around, and nothing at all. And everyone else was just like, it's not fair.
Well, I've still got I've still got. Oh God, I've just had it in my head and it's gone now. Clearview. I've still got a Clearview base station, and that works pretty good inside. But still, you still get reflections and multipathing, but not as much as just wearing the goggles. So yeah, it'd be nice to try it indoors with. That's probably what I'll get and put it in one of them.
You won't regret it at all.
No, I know. I already don't, because I can see blades of grass.
Those branches don't exist. They're gone.
Yes, God. I've sold my soul, Martian McFly. I have. I'm sorry, but until you actually fly it yourself, because when you hop on someone's channel, it looks good, but it's not great. Because I've Jokervision flew, and I hopped on his channel and watched him fly, and he was getting really good footage, and I was like, oh, I can't really, it's breaking up a bit for me. But when you get it and you're flying it yourself, it's just well good. I went back to I put my Dom V2s on, and I was squinting, and where's the fucking picture? It's all lines, and I was like, this is shit. So yeah, I've sold my soul to DJI. Just don't switch me off, because I know you can do that, you baskets. That's the worst thing about it. They can literally go deactivate him. That's the only thing.
If you plug it into update. They can't do that if you don't plug it into update. They've got no way to do that.
Well, they still can turn you off.
So you think, perhaps.
Yeah, but it's proper good, and I recommend it.
Agent 6, Tony hasn't plugged into update. You need to manually turn him off. On it. Just out. What shall I do with the dogs?
Oh, don't kill me, leave them.
No.
Bless.
How many people have you had up in the air flying DJI at the same time?
So of the people I fly with, I'm the only one who has DJI.
Oh, so you're the king walking around going, oh, look at me. Oh.
When I was out the weekend last weekend, one of the guys there turned up, also had DJI, and it was brilliant because it just you know how like you turn up to an event and you're like, so what channel are you on?
Yeah,
What channel are you on? You can forget all that. You just turn it on and it works.
Yeah, plug it
It's
in
like-
and it finds a
plug it in,
different
it does
channel, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. As long as you don't stand too close to each other.
Oh, so no Dutch ruddering then.
Well, it's all good for the COVID thing. They were obviously thinking ahead. I mean, it come out of China apparently.
Conspiracy.
Read the disclaimer because we don't necessarily
I've
agree
got it
with
this time.
Tony's
Any views
racial...
expressed by any guests on this show, especially Tony and personal, may not reflect the views of the host or any participant of the show. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Sorry.
I forgot. I'm so used to not reading it out because, like, I look at Andy RC and he's my prompt, and because I haven't seen him for a while, I really
Plus,
want
I lost
a
the
tutorial
text for weeks.
Oh,
How do
man.
you lose text?
Because it's in a document somewhere, and I have to find it, and I lost it, but I found it.
Macintosh.
Can anyone
well, don't
answer
forget.
Switch FPV's question while we're here?
So Switch says, what I really want is a tutorial for Radio Master to add a Bluetooth device and do the TBS Crossfire tracker thingamajig that Rob Thompson has got working with his MFD tracker via Crossfire Bluetooth. I hope that means more for someone else.
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
Tell Rob to do a tutorial on it. He'll do it if you ask
Go
him.
on, Rob.
Thingamajig doesn't help. That Rob Thompson.
I like
Chris
the word
MFD
thingamajig.
tracker.
I like that.
Thingamajig can describe many things.
Yeah.
Also, Macaulay.
And a Hoosier
I'm in the middle of updating all the. Hey, son and dad, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. By the way, we have fully restocked on Bernie things. I'm feeling a bit chilly.
Is that please to donate to Jack's lungs disease?
Do you not have any outstandings that we're like meant to have done from like weeks ago?
No, I had normal.
Look,
he says he's donated on PayPal
already on PayPal.
Oh, what?
You better check PayPal, bruv.
Oh, Frank's distracted me with what he texted me.
What?
Yeah. Oh, Mr.
That was right. Yeah, he sent us a $5.
Mr. Lurgy
Thanks,
Pants.
Lurgy.
Thank you.
I think because we failed, you need to like 2 of whatever, Jack.
No, we'll run out.
We'll do the nipple 2 thing for Lurgy. Everyone likes a big nipple thing.
I'll give him a. I'll give him a little sparkler and then go from there.
Okay.
So we're not that heavily restocked.
57 people watching live at the moment, so thank you everyone for tuning in.
Ooh, we're not that shit.
There you go. That's what you get if you donate live on the show. Your name shouted out and a firework lit. And
how are you getting on, Lurgy, with your old wing and that?
You're one video the other day.
Yeah, he had a video up the other day. He was with my mate Superfly was on it.
Whoa!
Oh,
okay. Just set fire to the box, Jack. Just set fire to the box.
50 Australian dollars. Thanks so much, Darnome. Hope you are well. I know you're feeling a bit in pain at the moment. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you actually on fire? Oh my god! Thanks, bro.
That's a lot of sparkles.
Kitty is in San
Quite
Francisco.
scary.
That's nice.
Ow!
Oh my god! Wow, there you go, Darno. Thank you very much. That is brilliant.
Right.
Someone take a screen of that. Marshall I just donated a $5. Light another one, Jack.
More.
No, I'm actually now setting fire to actual things in my house.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sarah, so much for donating, everyone.
How's your fire alarm, Jack?
Not good.
Yeah, God, thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate you tuning in on a Thursday evening. Without you, we wouldn't
Great.
bother.
I've melted my canine, like wire. Thank you, Marty McFly. God. Oh,
We need
hang
to
on, let me
reimburse you
open
some
more
wire.
windows. Oh my God. I forgot how much I liked breathing. Oh,
You sure it's not a little overrated?
no.
Well, we got bad news for you, Jack.
No.
We got incoming.
Oh, Zero donated €10. Thank you very much, Zero FPV. Always nice to see you in the chat. Jack, you got to like another one, I'm afraid. Zero
That's
just
another
donated as
three.
well.
Christ, we've got one packet left. What's wrong with you?
Well, you say you wanted them lit. You wanted some donations, so there you go.
Quote, I'm restocked and I'm feeling quite cold, I think was what you said.
We need like a little meter in
Yeah.
the corner of the temperature in Jack's room.
Temperature versus air quality as well, I think would be useful.
Yeah, PM10s, yeah.
Cheers, Zero. Have you got anything left there, Jack?
One.
You got one left. Oh, wow.
Is that one box or just one sparkler?
3 sparklers, 1 box. Thank you, Spider. Yeah, please smash the like button. Thank you, Zero. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Marshall McFly for donating, and Darno. Cheers, guys. Oh, that makes me laugh every time. I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore. Jack was like, "You're doing it," and I have to do it for a little while, and then I've got out of it. So,
Do you know, I always, so I watch this show every week, and
thank you.
I always wonder whether or not Jack actually sets fire or damages his monitor that's got to be sat in front of him. You know, does it have burn marks on it?
Well, when I did it, I've got a
little
phone protector screen on my phone, and it used to leave dimples in it. So yeah, it probably does stuff.
I had to buy a heat-proof mat for my desk because of all the scorch marks.
Can you bring your mic?
Where's your mic gone? Have you burnt it?
Sorry,
That's better.
I was trying not to burn it. And that's melted as well. Don't know whether you can. Oh, Clint!
Up the nose.
No.
Thanks,
You can get a bit of rotation on there and a fit.
Thanks, Clinton, for your
Thanks,
10
Clint.
down.
Also,
Much-
they're spiky.
Appreciated. Go on, it a fit.
It will. No, I can't. It will
It'd be a
just.
downwards
pour-
thrust. You'd have to put
it
your
will
head
just
back like you've
pour-
got a bleeding nose.
You can do it.
Go
We
on,
believe
Jack.
in you.
Stupid. This is stupid.
Yeah, but amusing.
You instigated this. This is
Yeah.
your doing.
Look at me, I'm stocked up. You have to restock again, haven't you?
No. I've actually run out. Good lighters. Up.
Screenshot someone, please. Oh my god.
I don't think this is legal. Ow.
That was
Thank you,
a
Clint.
Thanks, Clinton.
giant, barely indoor firework up the nose. That was.
Right, we've got one left, so we're all out now.
Where is Spider, the voice of reason? Stop trying to kill Jack. Yes, thank you.
Oh dear,
We're not trying to kill him, just lightly maim.
He loves it, really.
he does. Are you warm yet?
Yeah. Toasty.
Let's firework out. Oh dear.
Next time this happens, I'm bringing marshmallows.
You might as well.
Oh, imagine the
And
the
I'm wearing
seasoning
Daddy's
that those would
shirt.
do.
Don't burn the merch.
I think I might have just got sent a picture from Wyn Davis, probably of Jack with something up his nozzer. Let's have a look.
Oh, well, I'm
I've
feeling
just put a
refreshed.
couple of pictures into the Discord for you guys as well.
Oh,
Really?
fantastic.
Yeah, we got sent some pictures we can put on. Thank you very much.
Look, I'd just like to point out, look at the pile.
Right.
Like
I'm just going to have a top up. I'm going to top up my wine. Keep chatting. I'll be back.
curry kittens. Right, enough of that. So when do you reckon that the DJI stuff will be Whoop size? Do you reckon it will ever be? Because didn't Cadex make a smaller unit?
Isn't it? There's Whoops with HD stuff on it now, isn't there?
Whoops is I think Whoops is stretching it a little.
Wow. All right.
Um,
Things with ducks.
yeah, there are ducted
It's not
quads.
quite
I
down to
wouldn't call them a
65 mil, is it? Let's put it that way.
I think it'll get there eventually. It just takes time.
I believe someone that we know who isn't currently here today, but is sometimes here, might have something to say on this subject if he were here, but he's not here, so he won't say anything on it.
Oh.
It depends if we could convince him to break his NDA again.
Yeah. Live on air.
Is it the smart one or the idiot one?
How do you tell them apart?
I can neither
Oh,
confirm
hang
nor
on.
deny.
That's tricky. I don't know which is which.
That is
Someone earlier, while everything was on fire, was
literally
asking...
everything. Look at that. Goddamn savages.
It could have been worse, mate.
There we go. So John was asking, I have a question for you guys. Is it impossible to fly with analog friends at all using the DJI system, or is there a way to fly with one other person around? And you've been
It's
flying...
a good question.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, so I was going to say, does this make a difference on 50 megabits per second? If that's essentially sounds like it's taking up 4 channels, are you going to get interference on one side or the other?
I don't know the answer to that. Certainly pre 50 megabits update, you can fly with analog pilots just fine. You just need to not stand on top of them and be careful with your channel management. Make sure no one goes on R6 ever.
Is it best to turn on the DJI stuff first?
Yeah,
I know when it turns on, it just goes.
Yeah, I also recommend once you've turned your goggles on for the day, just don't turn them off.
Yeah,
just leave them on because they transmit as well as receive.
Yeah, they do. They do, don't they? They eat batteries quite a lot. I've got another test coming up soon. Menace just sent me their patch antennas for the DJI goggles, so I'm going to stick them on the weekend because I'm hopefully flying Saturday somewhere. I don't know where yet, but going to try them. So get rid of the ones at the bottom, I believe, are the ones that receive, and the 2 antennas at the top are the ones that send and transmit.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm assuming if they're the 50 megabit and the less channels, they're going to eat up some more analog stuff, I presume.
I suppose you could test that in your next flight if you're going out with Danny or something. If one of you guys brings an analog quad and one flies 50 megabits per second, it'd be quite interesting to see if you got any interference either end.
Yeah, might see if we can do a video of that just up our local, because they don't live far away from me and the local's just not far. So yeah, we could do that. We could do that, definitely. Be quite interesting to see what they've done, because they don't tell you. They just say, "Oh, this is the new update." Blah blah blah. Don't really tell you what channels it mucks about with.
No, and that's really annoying.
Yeah.
Really
Wings of Blue, what wing were you chasing? I'm sorry, I'm just like randomly watching a few videos to kind of catch up with you.
Which time?
Like
I've got 2 different wings. Is it a sunny day or a not sunny day?
Normally in the UK.
It looks fairly sunny for the UK.
Okay, so that would be Orangutan FPV's little glider that he converted to a line of sight plane.
Oh, I thought it looked familiar.
Cool.
Oh, I missed out on the old little gliders this year.
They come around so often. and then you can pick them up on eBay for like 50 quid like a few weeks later.
Oh, animals. I know. I went and bought some for our long lost friend Daniel R. Upton. Do you remember him, Tony?
Oh yeah, I texted him the other day and told him I was going down his way, and he was like, "Oh, I'll try to come out," and he didn't come out. But such a lovely guy. I'd like to see him again. One day.
I do. I can hold. I've got some ransom of his.
Oh, good.
I picked up some. I picked up some Kenwick leaded solder, so we could always hold that for ransom. You're not getting it till you play with Uncle Tony.
That's good.
So, question for the group. This week was at the flying field, and a guy flying a Mavic Mini was completely blocked when I powered up my Betaflight Quad 800 milliwatt F1. Anyone else see this before? My Mavic Air has no issue.
I've seen it before. So one of my friends has a Mavic Mini, and large output power on analog VTXs will just knock out your signal. It's just the way it is.
Because I suppose they use 5.8 Wi-Fi for everything, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Because
About
the
15
DJI
total
FPV stuff isn't Wi-Fi, is it? But it's
It's over 5.8 gigahertz for control and video.
I suppose it's on that spectrum, isn't it? So if you've got something else in that powering up, which is high power, then something can affect it close in.
Do any of you guys remember Element 14? You know, it was like Ben Heck and all that. So he left the show, and it's like a little General Electronics thing, and they have like new guests on nowadays. And one of the guest hosts on there was taking apart a DJI Phantom 3 and had his father-in-law be like, "Don't call them drones; they're called quadcopters." Blah blah blah, and that was quite nice. I can post a link for that, but it was kind of interesting to watch, even though it's like really old tech. And obviously, I'm friends with Sheldon, so you can literally go around, like not bragging, but you can go around his place of work and just trip over those bits and more. You're just like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a police drone," and I'm like, "Okay." But it's a bit old tech, but it's kind of nice to like go through there and like have someone take it apart and go through all the components and stuff and kind of see how they do different stuff. Are
you flying the weekend, Winter?
Yeah, I'm out on Saturday if the weather perks up.
Apparently, it's going to be nice, low winds and nice Saturday and Sunday.
It's
So
looking
that'd be good.
It is looking good. Where you going? Anywhere? Should you tell anyone or keep it quiet?
I'm keeping it a little bit quiet. I've got a friend who has been shielding due to the current circumstances. He's now
human malware.
Yeah. And he's theoretically allowed out now. I'm trying to talk him into coming out, so I'm not advertising it as I normally would.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to get out of the house and come flying with me.
No tongues.
No, because that would breach social distancing.
It would.
Yeah. That's it.
Unless he's in your bubble.
Don't want to know where he's going.
You can say no comment at any time during the process of this.
Or just swear at people and we'll go away.
Exactly.
Like Frank did. That's a little bit of an inside joke. Sorry, I'm just having a little look for the Element 14 Presents. That's it, DJI Phantom. But it was kind of nice to have someone like take it apart and not be like, these things are the work of the devil.
I really don't get why there's such a big divide between the photography drone flyers and the FPV self-build flyers and the traditional balsa wood and dope and tissue paper flyers? Aren't we all just flying for fun anyway?
Oh, yeah, I
Can't we all
know.
just get
No.
along?
No, because the photographers take it really seriously and it's professional, and we're interfering without dicking about. Which, you know, just saying, you know, we're interfering with their livelihood, and we're like, you know, ruining everything. Hashtag ruining the hobby, and stealing the food from the mouths of their photography bred children that they take photographs of. Surely that's more questionable than what we're doing, but I'm just saying.
Carrie, can you
hashtag,
put
do you
the
even fly rate,
disclaimer
mate?
up again, Carrie, just in case?
I'm joking. But no,
Oh, look, Dominic Clifton's in the chat.
I know. Yeah, it's your fault.
Hello,
for starting it.
Dominic.
No,
Hi,
but
Dominic.
I see their point. You know, whilst we're strapping fireworks to quads and like Tony's flying them in between my legs, and you know, just generally crashing into each other with
They're doing
foamies. You know,
sensible things like losing control of their matrice and just like, I keep pressing return to home and nothing works, but I keep doing it and yet it still doesn't work. I'll keep doing it some more. So,
but
yeah,
you know, they're
there's a
using
skill
it.
gap.
Yeah, they're using it for like professional, you know, professional reason, and you know, trying to be all arty and creative with it. And then the balsa wood guys are like, well, great, we've had a load of legalized legislation and like, you know, legal like hoops to now jump through since, you know, we've come along. So, you know,
I tend to think though that the balsa wood guys have a lot more in common with what I'd call the FPV guys, because the balsa wood guys initially believed that all us lot were the people getting like the legislation going, because they thought we were all flying these DJI drones, and we're like, no, these have been built and we make them ourselves, and that gives us something in common with them. It's like you build stuff, you understand stuff, but we all feel slightly distanced, I guess, from people. I think it's that skills gap. The fact you can go into a shop, buy something, and just like, I can fly this for 5 miles and not have any. Still, people don't have any contemplation of what this means and what could happen and what could go wrong. These are the problem people.
I think, yeah, there is certainly a kind of barrier to entry thing. There's a very low barrier to entry to flying a Mavic, and there's a slightly higher barrier of entry to flying an FPV quad in a place that you've picked, and there's a slightly higher barrier of entry to flying at a formal club site. And that's kind of what I see as the big difference is where and how we fly. I think that's kind of the big divide that I see between the three groups, is that the kind of balsa and dope have their club sites that, you know, they've got their agreements all in place, and they just want there to be absolutely no interference with what they've worked really hard to set up.
They don't agree with hugging either. No, I can't do that anymore, but I'd like to hug quite a lot of them, but they don't
It's
like
true
it.
that it is location based, isn't it? Like the balsa guys are generally club flyers. The FPV guys like us are generally like looking for just places where there's interesting things like trees, and the photography guys are looking for places like where there's interesting buildings and stuff. So they're still the guys causing more trouble, because it's like there's crowds of people here, but look, there's like a big tower or something I want to take pictures of.
But there's also like there's obviously going to be awkward people in every group, but with the kind of more conscientious photography people with the Mavics, they do go through the channels with English Heritage or National Trust or whatever, and like do a load of paperwork, and you know, actually try and convince landowners to give them permission to go and fly somewhere. And so then when we rock up at a bando and just dick about, then they kind of see that as kind of cheating as well. So I think there's, you know, some reasonable things that from each perspective everyone else is doing it wrong, and that's kind of my bugbear, is people who go, the way that I do it is the way to do it, and everyone else is wrong. And and that kind of annoys me. And I'd like to think that I can appreciate someone who does control line flying, and I wouldn't
Why
want to do
can't
it
we just
myself.
all be friends, man?
Exactly. It's just like
We're divided
all
by a
kind of
common hobby.
yeah.
Didn't someone get nailed to a
Nice.
cross once for saying everyone should be nice to each other?
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I know it's sad.
It's a shame.
It is.
As I see, I see all sides of it. It's like, yeah, we should really just be having fun and trying to get along. What are you laughing at?
Dominic's going to have to come on just to try and go through exactly what's been happening in the development strange land of hell where everybody doesn't get along at all.
Oh God, no!
Have you got Dominic's email, Jack?
Yeah, a long time ago. I've got one of his business cards.
I think he's in our Discord.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Well, let's see if we can get him on and have a chat next week or the week after.
Yeah, I know.
If you're up for that, Dom.
I do miss him. I live in fear that he might start talking about the old Radio C days because he was there for that. That's all. And I'm like, no. It's on every single comment. Okay.
Commit.
Mm. Fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
look,
Jack's dyslexia again.
I know. LOL Radio C. That's all you need to know. And the ghetto-ness.
I've
it's
flown
lol. I
I've
thought it was a
flown
massive
against.
binary number.
I've flown against. I've flown against Dominic Clifton at the first ever nationals. Remember that, Jack? A few years ago, the first ever nationals.
Do 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 do.
You were there, you bastard.
I was much younger.
Oh, it
And
was
less
me.
covered in
It was me, Banny, Dominic Clifton, and oh God, who's in X-Blaze? Wears glasses. I can't think of his name.
I'm a
Isn't
pro
everyone just called Dave?
photographer, and I admire
Anyway.
you guys for flying manual. But that's all you should admire us for, because the rest of you are idiots. Don't listen to anything we say. I'm very disrespectful and offensive. I'm sorry
Yes.
about that.
Yes, Dom. We do know what happened.
Yeah, respect the hobby and equipment, of course. The new legislation.
Brett. That's it, Brett.
Mm.
I think you failed, Dom, at the start line, didn't you? I think
Yeah.
I think I come third that day. Yeah.
You were trying to make friends with alcohol, and it didn't work.
Who, me?
Yeah, didn't you?
When?
At the Grinstead little thing, you bought a crate of beer for everyone,
Oh God, that was
and no one.
I was
no
talking
one
about
talked to you.
I was talking about the nationals. That was the first ever FPV event I went to. Yeah, that was Dom won that one, didn't he? I think he had his secret code written on his quad. Managed
No,
to.
he's gonna have the latest update. I was flying a ZMR frame with Simon KESC. Oh God, who
I
wasn't?
was as well. Yeah, that was the good old days.
I think I was on BL Heli, but it was the 12 amp BL Heli. Ugh. You know,
I was
the
on Simon K.
Rat's Nest was on.
Mm. Well,
Okay.
did that footage make it into Carrie's latest video? I can't remember if it did or not in the end.
Which stuff? The blowing up stuff?
Mm.
Yes.
No, he
If
done
you
it
watched the
himself,
video
didn't he?
about this thing, apart from me setting one ESC on fire, I showed an awesome clip of. I'll just hold it up again. It's this thing. It's basically a smoke stopper
I haven't
with
watched
an
that one
electric
yet.
fuse in there. But it's got the culmination of a weekend between Frank and Jack where they're like, let's plug it in. And I think Jack says something like, we should continuity test it really, but let's just try it and just plug in, and all four ESCs instantly smoke. It's the best clip to illustrate why smoke stoppers may be useful.
We just didn't give a toss, man. It was an abuse mark PDB, which is a big, fat, heavy, literally pure copper.
I've still got one of them.
Yeah. And they're goddamn awful, because it's like they're in clusters of 3, like positive, negative, and you just can't tell what's what. You know, it's like, oh.
Well, you worked out well enough to get it exactly wrong.
Yeah, it's like every
100%
single one was wrong. So they're brilliantly marked, but brilliantly misread.
Do you know what would be hilarious if I got all the like ESC wires right, but when it came to hooking up the XT60 pigtail, that was the thing that was wrong.
Well, I have done that before at least twice. I've put the XT60 on backwards somehow, and
I
I've
do that all
visually
the
inspected it and said, "Yep, that looks good." Plugged in and puff, psh, off it goes.
Oh,
But normally it's just like, you know, there's one thing that burns, but having a PDB and 4 SCs connected to it made every single one go at the same time, which is very exciting.
I don't ever solder up my own XT60s anymore because I forever solder them on backwards every single time. So just like, no.
So my way of getting around that is get a correct dead battery cable and just chop the ends off and just leave enough of what they should be, because not only does that help with like a sort of like heat sink and stops the plug from melting, you just match, you know, the red side with the red side and the black with the black side.
I'd
Good
still get
tip.
it wrong.
Really?
Get it.
How?
Yeah.
What, are you colourblind or something? Or
No, just when I get round to doing XT60s, I'm tired and it's like midnight and I'm like, no,
do that
that'll do.
first.
yeah, do it for, or just do a day of making them yourself.
Making pigtails, yeah.
Yeah, practice.
Teach my kid to do it for me.
Ah, there you go.
Slow
That's
labour.
it. Make your own labour.
You can just, if you're feeling lazy, you can just buy them like pre-wired. It'll just come with like, here's your connector and a pigtail, and then you can just solder that. Of course, you can still get that backwards on the pad, of course, can't you?
Yeah.
So it's
I
no
don't
good.
tend to do it. It's the plug end I always get wrong. Never the end of the board. It's always the plug end.
No, I've cocked up, but I'll tell you why. Because the last time I did it, I remember what happened. It's like there's a big plus and a minus. I'm like, okay, I'm going to solder on that, and then I was like, oh, it's a bit more accessible if I turn the board over, and then I put it on the same way around. And it's like, oh, this is backwards now, as I found out after the smoke came out.
Been there, done that.
I think we all have at some point.
Yeah. Indeed.
It's
No,
a bit like the immediate problem I had with RG Pilot was I hadn't twigged in my head that the sort of the first view you get on the mission planner is an artificial horizon and not, as you would have on a clean flight, beta flight, whatever configurator, a representation of the board. So when I'm tilting the board like that, because the artificial horizon is going the other way, I'm like, I've set the orientation wrong or something. And no, it's correct. It's just I'm reading it wrong.
Yeah.
But that took me like far too long to realize that. I was like trying to work out how to swap directions of y-axes and things.
It's a good illustration that as soon as you're used to one thing, changing it fundamentally breaks your head.
It's all the assumptions that you don't realize you're making that causes problems.
Very true.
Well, when you're fixing things, you always just expect the worst. You know, it's and then after a while it starts going right, and you just get complacent. But I was wondering when you were going to bring this up. Big Clive takes apart. You know, we had that little flashing ball. Well, I did the little flashing ball drone. He's got like a little cage drone. Big Clive just released a video of him taking apart kind of one of those, but it's in a cage, and I think it's what's 6 penta octa is 8. What's 6?
Hex.
Yeah, hex. That's it. Hex. I think it's like a little mini hex in like a little what looks to be like a brass coloured cage, and it hovers and flies around and zooms off everywhere. So he takes that apart. So it's a bit of a weird, like different look in it, and it's I think it's using one of those like little 8-pin microcontrollers that you're just like, how the hell did they manage to get all that on there? and a really weird gyro that I've never heard of ever. So, but yeah, it's quite.
I was just going to say, wasn't there a drone at some point? I'm sure I saw one of Curry's videos of with mechanical gyros or spinning discs, so for orientation, like way back when in like the 90s or something.
Yeah, early 90s, isn't it? The Japanese.
Oh,
one.
that one, yeah, that was I think the first quadcopter we could find, the mechanical gyro thing,
Yeah.
which had this huge antenna.
I think that one of you guys should try and build one. With
I vote Jack.
No.
Yeah.
I think
2 votes.
2
no.
votes.
I vote Jack.
3 votes for Jack.
Shotgun, not me.
Oh, no, I built the Mavic. I'm the
chat.
last person who's done the stupid thing.
Guys in the chat, if you want Jack to build a
No, I'm not doing it. I don't care.
gyros, please drive him mad and request it every show for the next 6 months until he does it. Nice winter project for you, Jack.
Although,
I forgot
technically
to sign the
speaking, I mean,
output
aren't
channel.
all gyros mechanical? Because even like the ones that we use are MEMS. So in there's the little mechanical tuning fork. So it's
Oh, there's not a big spinning disc of metal of death.
it is not a big spinning disc of death. No, there is that.
No,
Weird.
I'm not doing it. No, that would just don't let Jack do it because we'll never know. Sounds like a Frank project to me.
That's true.
One up.
Well, we haven't exactly got videos coming out from Frank either. You and Frank are the worst person for producing videos.
Oh, Frank sent me a little video of him trying to take off in Harsh but True Look. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Burn me to death, and just I don't know. I'm not like Tony. I don't need to go. Oh, I've done a lovely poo. Let me just upload that to Instagram.
What do you mean? You're the only one who sends poo pictures.
Constantly sending pictures of your poo to people. Come on.
I never send poo pictures.
To annoy me, like Tony.
Literally, you're the guy who sends poo pictures, not me.
I'm so glad you don't have my number.
Well,
you don't ever give it to him, or whatever you do. It's just totally not worth it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
But I've got a long list of projects that I want to do before adding new ones to the list. After this tail sitter, a couple that are next kind of most intriguing me at the moment. One is an ADS-B camera follower. So using the ADS-B receiver I've got and using that to then point a camera so it tracks aircraft as it goes across the sky. Which I'd then like to do other stuff with, but that would be the easiest thing to start off with. And then the other thing that I been thinking about recently has completely lost. I've completely forgotten what it was.
Yeah.
I've been looking up loads of stuff about it, and then just as I started saying that sentence, it vanished.
Where's your to-do list?
I know.
We've talked about this. Look at your internet search history.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Pornhub.
Don't worry, it's not me or Tony. No, Tony's got something to distract him now, so he's not as bad.
What's happening with the LDO event in August, Andrew/Frank?
This is a good question and one that I currently don't have an answer to. Mainly because
Do you reckon it'll be pushed back a bit? September.
The biggest thing is I'm not going anywhere because I don't have a car. That is my thing. So until it's safe to go back on public transport for non-essential journeys, then I won't be going anywhere.
Fair play. I'm with you on that one.
It's like navigation. And we're in negotiations as well.
Are we?
Yeah, we're trying to get the
land sorted?
Yeah, maybe. but hopefully we'll get it sorted. But yeah, it'd be nice to sort of.
It'd be nice to meet up with everyone, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would. I mean, if nothing else, we should definitely, when we can, organise a meetup.
Yeah. Go to a field and stand in it.
Winterblue, what have you got coming up on your channel, which is in the description below?
Oh yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe both to LDO and my channel, and Unsub Clown. What have I got coming up? So not this weekend, but next weekend I have another very special guest. He might be on the show right now with us. No clues.
I said I'm not doing it. Oh, you said special. Okay.
Yeah, not very special.
I'm well special, me.
Different kind of special.
Yeah.
So that's
Special K, my favourite.
That's coming up on the 18th. Other than that, I don't really know. I've got.
I don't.
Actually, I do know. 1st of August, I've got a guy called Sync FPV. If you haven't seen his stuff, the guy is just amazing.
I saw him on your channel, yeah.
Yeah, he was on before, but he's as pilots go. I watch his videos, and I just find him really inspiring to watch. So go check him out if you haven't already. And yeah, just
it's not spelled.
Couple of,
it's not spelled how Jack would spell sync, is it?
SYNC.
Yeah, not like the kitchen.
No,
he's like Mr. Steele, only he's got good hair.
Okay.
Oh, shots fired. I've been learning about C-Sync and all that, and sync over Luma and composite sync. Video sync. Ooh, exciting. That's what I've been up to. I've just been on.
That kind of nicely rounds off the show, because we are talking about how, analog is nearing end of life. So, now that you're diving really into the details of analog video, that's perfect timing for it.
No.
Analog is dead.
It's dead, Jack.
Me and Curry are going to be like, oh, we got a couple of CRTs here, one for each eyeball.
Exactly that. We're trying to keep our old game systems going, and that's very analog. And modern TVs don't like them that much.
Oh God!
I've got an original Master System somewhere.
Just the one.
That's another
just
story.
the one. I don't know whether it works, and I have no game for it.
The 1 or 2? Has it got a built-in game or not?
No built-in game. It's the big long red and black thing with the little tiny memory cards that go in the front.
Yeah.
Well, those are the cards.
As well.
Analog will never die. Hi, Orangutan.
Yes.
Orangutan FPV in the chat. He's the guy who I was chasing the little wing, the little wing.
Oh, nice. I know any idiot can count to 1. That's a digital dig. So I don't know. Right. Well, on that note, should we call it there, guys?
Yep.
No worries. Thank you. You've been listening to Let's Drone Out. You've been joined by everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Goodbye.
Andrew Stash Frank.
Bye.
Winterblue, who does excellent interviews and little live stream builds. If you miss me building, watch someone who actually builds something interesting and, somewhat up to date. Winterblue.
See you guys.
And everyone's little vegan sausage that can lay and see every blade of grass.
Bonjour.
I've been bright till I fly. I'm sorry if I've offended any photographers. I'm a gobshite. Email me. Right until I fly at gmail.com and tell me to go F myself because I deserve it. I didn't.
Thanks everyone who donated. Thanks everyone who tuned in. We love you guys. This is the only reason we do it, because otherwise I'll be out in the rain.
Hanging out. We've got to do last month's bonus podcast. So if any of you sub to our Patreon before Frank works out that because of the stupid tax thing, we're gonna have to put it up to $5 or some bullshit like that. Who knows? But we'll be on there anyway. During last month's pod, we're really sorry it's so late. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
All right.
Podcast. Maybe you should change it to the worst